Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to our RP5 tutorial, and on this quickie I am gonna show you guys how I set up Redshift. And like, you crack up Houdini first time you're using Redshift, how do we get started? Alright, so we're gonna just like set up the basics. We're gonna start with just a sphere, very simple. And we want to have we're gonna see how we set up the lights in here. So we're gonna first off start with a dome light and an area light. I like to set up two kinds of lights, dome and area. So for the dome, I'm gonna use the new pack that RMA is putting out for RS lights, not necessarily RS lights, but any type of HDRI lights. This is gonna be the parking lot HDRI setup, volume 1. I'm not sure if it's come out by the time this tutorial came out, but if not, very soon you will see I'm creating a very cool set of HDRI packs of all kinds of scenarios, super high quality, and it's gonna be cool to test it on here. So I'm basically just copying the path, and I'm gonna pick, for example, HDRI number 2, and you will see that after, when we load it, we're gonna be able to see it here. This is the parking lots pack, and parking lots, believe it or not, they give some very interesting kind of lights because they have like different very cool variation and stuff. So on the dome, what I like to do is I like to turn it off on the viewport because it's annoying sometimes, and I like to turn it on the environment on background, or else when you render you're gonna see it. So now it's completely invisible. And then I'm gonna put RS light, and we're gonna do a 3-point light setup. So in here, if we click enter, you're gonna see that it brings in a light, and this little line here that shows where the direction of the light is hitting. So we'll just put this light here. Duplicate that, click Alt and just drag it, and let's place this other one right here. And the first thing that I do is I'm gonna reduce the intensity of them because I just want them to be just very subtle. So I'm just gonna do like 11 in the intensity. Alright, so we've got, and of course you can change the color here, and you can also change it by temperature. I like to just change it by color. I mean, we could just give it a notch of like a little bit of a warm tone with a little bit of a cooler tone. Now I'm gonna come here on my Redshift tab, and you will see that it does not show up right now. It's probably gonna happen to you as well. So if you click here and you go to shelves and you go to Redshift, you will see the Redshift tag will appear here, and then you want to select the object, and you see that if it doesn't give you the objects for the Redshift, you want to click object here and it'll create this tab. So I'm gonna create a camera, and on the camera you'll see that immediately it brings in the RS camera, but if it doesn't show it, you just click here and it'll create it here. I'm just gonna place the camera like somewhere around here. And then I'm gonna select our object and go Redshift tessellation, enable tessellation, so that at render time it subdivides the geometry and it gives us way more detail. The reason why I know exactly what to do, because these are the kind of things that I usually set up. Sometimes I'll have this up if the geometry is very high resolution. If not, then I just won't. I'll just leave it like this. But I'm going through things quickly because this is kind of like what I do to set up a base scene inside of Redshift. and for you guys to see an overview of the things that you probably want to know where they're at. If we come in here and we select the camera and hit enter, then hit Z, you'll get this thing, and with this we want to set up our Z depth. So we select camera, we go Redshift, depth of field, and we turn that on. Then we're going to create a basic material. So if you go into material context and you write Redshift material, and then you do RS material. So you want to type Redshift material and then RS material. RS material will give you this, and the Redshift material will give you this. The RS material comes with all of these parameters. I'm not gonna go into them right now. I'm just gonna connect the material into the surface, and we're gonna say like tester. And then on the material, we wanna select a preset, and I'm just gonna go with gold. To the gold material, I like to change the reflectivity color. I'm just gonna make it a little bit more orangey, and we're gonna come back to our object. Inside of our sphere, we're gonna drop down a material, select the material, click here, and go to tester, and I'm just gonna save this scene before we hit render. Gonna save this here. Alright guys, so we're gonna go in the camera. We've got our material set up, we've got our lights in here. And one thing that I like to do is on the lights, we want to make sure that visible is turned off so that we don't see the rectangular shape of the RS light on the background when we render. This is no longer enabled on the latest version, but it is. But before, it would always show up like this. So just double check that, and then we go on the out context and we type Redshift render, and we're gonna use this ROP. In this ROP, we've got all of the cool parameters for the main, the outputs for where you're gonna render this out into your computer, and it's already default to EXR. On Redshift, you can choose the sample quality of the resolution for your outputs, and you've got the motion blur that you usually want to click that on. It comes with the global illumination already enabled, so it's almost pretty much good to go. On the archive, this is for exporting proxies, making render maps on the objects if you want to force render the object or force render any lights on your scene. So if you have like 10 objects and you have them all turned off, if you force them here, you can pick whichever one you want to render. Scripts and IPR. IPR is for the render view, basically the render view IPR, which is what like allows you to see it on the viewport. On main, you can also pick your camera, and this is for the AUVs on the output, and for the post effects, which allow you to control a couple of things, and I'll show you how to access this in a second. So we're gonna select the render node, and we're gonna go to render view. Inside of a render view, you want to select Houdini, select ROP, and we're gonna select the ROP that you just created, or whichever one you want to choose, and then in here you want to select your camera. It's gonna save. I'm gonna hit render. and we've got our sphere, right? If we want to come here on the object level and turn on the environment enable on render time, you'll see that we can now see the HDRI. And if you go to transform, we can rotate it around to kind of get an idea of like, see, like you can rotate around your HDRI. Just gonna make it invisible here. What's cool about this pack, for example, you see the cool reflections that you're getting, because it's like, it's a very interesting sort of like light setup inside of this parking lots, all hand-picked. And that's basically how you get Redshift up and running in Houdini. You see that it's really not very hard. You just want to make sure that you've got your lights, you got your camera, you've got your Redshift tag here, Redshift tag on the object, material, very simple material that we've set up to get started, and the out, your Redshift ROP to get up and running. Alright guys, I hope this helps out, and more soon.